previous lecture, we determined the centroid of this L-shaped section. Now we are going to calculate the centroid of this composite shape over here. First, we are going to set up our origin at this point, and then we are going to divide this composite shape into several regular shapes. I have divided this composite shape into 3 rectangles. This is A1, A2, and this is A3, area of this rectangle over here. And then I am going to determine the values in the first row. So the area of the first rectangle is going to be equal to 12 plus 2 plus 2, which is equal to 16. This would 16 multiplied by 2 would give me 32. And now I'm going to determine the centroidal coordinates. That is, for this part, what is the value of x, the distance from the origin, this point, this is x1, and this is y1. So x1 obviously is going to be equal to the half of this total distance. So 12 plus 2 plus 2 is 16. 16 divided by 2 would give me 8. And for y, we can see over here this is going to be equal to 4 plus 1. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So this value over here is the product of x into a. So x multiplied by a, 8 multiplied by 32 is equal to 256, and y into a is equal to 5 multiplied by 32, which gives us 160. Now we are going to perform the calculation for second rectangle, that is this one over here. And first, the area of this rectangle is going to be equal to 2 multiplied by 4, which gives us 8. And then we are going to calculate the centroidal coordinates, that is x2 and y2. x2 is equal to 1 inch and y2 is going to be equal to half of this distance, that is 2 inch. And similarly, we can calculate this value by multiplying x into a, that is 8 multiplied by 1 would give us 8, and this value is going to be equal to y into a. 8 multiplied by 2 is equal to 16. Now we are going to perform the same calculation for this third segment, that is this rectangle. So the area of this rectangle is going to be equal to the area of this rectangle. A3 is going to be equal to A2. So area A3 is equal to 8. And now that we are going to calculate the centroidal coordinates, that is this distance x3 and y3. So x3 is going to be equal to 2 plus 12, which is equal to 14, plus 1 would give me 15. And the y coordinate, this distance is going to be equal to half of this distance, 4 inch. So 4 upon 2 would give me 2. And x into a in this case is equal to 8 multiplied by 15, which gives us 120. And y into a, that is 2 multiplied by 8, is equal to 16. Now we are going to take the summation of this column and this one and y into a. So summation of area is equal to 48. Summation of the product of x into a is equal to 384, and summation of the product of y into a is equal to 192. So if I plug in all of these values into the formula given below, then I would obtain the coordinates of this composite shape with respect to this point. So x is coming out to be equal to 8 and y is coming out to be equal to 4 inch. So in the diagram, it would look something like this. That is, from the origin, the centroid of the shape is located at a distance of x equals to 8 inch and y equals to 4 inch. Now we are going to apply the second approach to this composite shape. First, we are going to assume a rectangle which is overlapping the whole figure, and then we are going to subtract this green rectangle from the blue one. And if we do that, we would obtain the same composite shape. Let's do the calculation. First, we are going to set up our reference axis and an origin, and then we are going to do the calculation for this rectangle. So the area for this rectangle is equal to 16 multiplied by 6. So 16 is this distance multiplied by 6. 6 is the height of this rectangle. And now we are going to determine the centroidal coordinates. So the centroidal coordinate for this rectangle, the centroid would be somewhere over here, and x coordinate is this distance, x1, and y1 is equal to this distance over here. So x1 is equal to half of this distance. 16 divided by 2 would give us 8, and 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So similarly, you can find these products as well just by multiplying x into a and y into a. This would give you these results. And now we are going to perform the same calculation for this rectangle over here. So the area of this rectangle is equal to 4 multiplied by 12, which comes out to be equal to 48. And the centroidal coordinates for this rectangle, that is, this is x2 and y2. x2 is equal to half of this distance, 6 plus 2, which comes out to be equal to 8, and y is going to be equal to half of this distance. 4 divided by 2 would give me 2. And if I multiply x into a, I am going to obtain 384, and y into a would give me 96. And similarly, if I sum up these columns, I am going to obtain these values. And if I plug in all of these values here, I obtain x equals to 8 inch and y equals to 4 inch, which is the same answers that we were getting in the first approach. If you have any kind of question related to this topic or anything discussed in this video, please write it down in the comment section. I will try my level best to answer them. Thank you.